डरा नहीं रहा हूँ, तुम्बाड़ के लिए तैयार कर रहा हूँ।
Again, from my very vague research on Tumbbad, that this movie originally was 200 minutes long, and they got cut it down to 100 minutes. So there's lots of story that we're missing. So from what I understand, the character of the grandmother was supposed to be this very, very young child when she got married, and she was very good, like probably the best at going down and getting the gold coins. So even when she became a widow, actually the Vinayak character asks her this, like, what happened? Why didn't they throw you out and, you know, make you do sati or make you go and live in a Vidya-ashram or, you know, one of those places that widows go to live after their husbands die? They said, because they had a need for me. No one could get the coin the way I could. So she was so good at it that she became indispensable also. But I'm thinking she got overconfident. The same way Vinayak later on gets overconfident. And that it will be the downfall. So the greed is okay if you're willing to take bits and pieces. But later on, if we want more and more, it's going to get you. But what I really liked about this is that it shows that the greed increases with each generation.
Yes.
So the latest one was the son. And the plan that he comes up with about making lots and lots of dolls to get the loincloth, I didn't come up with that plan, dude. I watched the movie. It never occurred to me. Like, when he was doing the one doll and then getting the gold coins and running away, at no point as an audience did I think, why doesn't he use more than one doll? He will have more time. It never even occurred to me. So when the kid presented that idea, I was like, that's a good point. Why hasn't he done that before? And it shows that the greed, like the hunger, would always grow if you keep feeding it. The more you feed it, the more it grows. And with each generation, it will be bigger and bigger and bigger until the generation would be the end of it. So it adds a lot of layer to it, and I feel like there is a lot more mythology that we are not privy to. And the story only had like 100 minutes to tell all of this. So I think the generational curse has been explained in a way that it is something that was there before we got introduced to the Vinayak character, and it would have continued if the kid hadn't, you know, in the end, I love the way it ends, and he sees the pain in the father's face, and the father is forcing him to take the loincloth. Like, this is what you wanted, right? And then when he sees what it has done to his father, he finally is, I guess, has to face what he has to give up in order to gain this loincloth. And, you know, the unlimited supply of gold. And he decides not to take it. And I love that Vinayak has a smile on his face in that moment, because he is finally happy that his son is not going to be like him.
Although he did nothing to set that kid on the right path.
But that's the thing. He was just continuing the family tradition, man.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like he just fell into the same trap. His mum was the mistress. Yeah. And it's not like they were married or anything like that. Hence why, you know, they were shunned in the village. No one really respected them. No one really liked them. Even she said that, no one likes that. Once Sarkar passes away, where we no one likes us. No one gives a crap about us. So you're doing that. And then he goes on to have a mistress. Okay? And then the kid seeing that, growing up with that, what does he do? He goes and makes a play for the mistress as well.
Yeah.
And then rather than talking to him and everything, you beat him up.
Yeah.
And then what you do? You take him to a kota, bro.
Yeah. Again, that's what he knows. I mean, that's just it, right? Our fathers can only teach us what was taught to them. And it was showing how the same thing is going to keep repeating itself. So there was a line by the grandmother that I really, really like. Not going to that mansion is your choice, but after that, you have no more choice. Essentially, it's like you're gonna start a snowball effect that you won't be able to control. But you still have a choice. You have the choice not to be greedy. But once you make that choice, once you've let the greed inside of you, you have no choice, because you're forever going to have to feed that greed. And then she follows that up with,
में मिली हुई हर चीज पर दावा नहीं करना चाहिए।
मैं नहीं करूंगा तो कोई और कर लेगा।
लालची है तो
यही तो गुण है मुझ में।
I love that line. That's such a beautiful line.
Yes.
But I feel like because she was doing that creepy grandmother gremlin voice, that line was lost a little bit. And I'm so glad I had subtitles on so I could read it. Not everything you inherit should be claimed, could be the tagline of this entire movie. So just because it is a tradition, just because it is something that is passed down through generation, just because it's something our grandfathers did, our fathers did, does not mean we have to continue it. Every generation has the choice not to go down that same path. But the choice is ours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with one choice, everything is a catalyst and everything is an equilibrium. Everything has a consequence. And once you make that one thing, it's just like a domino effect.
बाबा तुम्बाड़ में क्या है? वो देव वही सोजा वरना हंसता रहा जाए। नाम लेने से भी आता है क्या?
पिक्चर अभी भी बाकी है भाई।